Melissa's new beginning. For most people working in San Francisco's financial district, Monday mornings felt heavy and boring, but not for Melissa Johnson. She had made a promise to herself a long time ago: as long as she could smile and keep her head high, no worry line would show on her forehead. Sitting at her desk, Melissa looked at her reflection on the computer screen and took a deep breath. Today was a very special day. A diamond ring sparkled on her finger, an engagement ring from James, her boyfriend of 3 years. Just thinking about him made her heart feel warm. With a hopeful smile, she picked up her phone and called her mother. "Mom, I have something important to tell you," she said gently. Her mother's voice came through the phone, sounding tense and distracted. "I'm busy right now, Melissa. I'm helping with Victoria Hilton's garden party. You know how important she is, the most powerful woman in town." Melissa closed her eyes quietly. Of course, she knew. Her mother had called Victoria Hilton the most powerful woman every week for the past 10 years. It wasn't about real influence, it was just her mom's dream to be seen as important. "I understand, Mom, but I got engaged to James." There was a long silence, then her mother laughed, but not kindly. "Oh, to that real estate agent? Really, Melissa? You could do so much better. Just look at your sister Vanessa, she's dating a promising young lawyer." Melissa looked at the tiny green plant on her desk. James had given it to her during one of her bad days. That little plant had survived, just like her. "James is a good man," she said softly, "and I believe I can be truly happy with him." "Happiness doesn't last," her mother replied coldly. "I honestly thought you'd make something more of yourself, but if this is your choice, fine." After the call ended, Melissa sat in silence. Her chest felt tight. It wasn't the first time she'd been made to feel small by her own family, but this time, she was choosing a different path, a life that felt right to her. That evening, Melissa visited her sister Vanessa's fancy apartment. The view from the top floor was amazing, but Vanessa's cold eyes made the room feel colder. "You're really engaged to him?" Vanessa said, swirling wine in her glass. "You've got no ambition at all." Melissa sat down on the soft couch and looked at the shelf full of framed photos of Vanessa's daughter, Sarah. "I love James," Melissa said quietly. Vanessa laughed again. "Love? That's just chemicals in the brain. It fades. You should be smarter than that." She walked to the window and gestured at the glowing city skyline. "This is love. This is what matters, success, achievement." Vanessa turned back and looked down at Melissa, her face proud and sharp. "You're always clinging to that idea of happiness, but be honest, he'll spend his life selling houses. Meanwhile, I'm building an empire." Melissa lowered her eyes. "I know," she said, "you're very successful, we all know that." Vanessa paused, sensing the sadness in Melissa's voice. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said, a bit softer. "I just think you could do better." Melissa stood to leave. She showed Vanessa her ring, hoping for a small kind word, but Vanessa barely looked and said, "Show me later." Hurt but holding it together, Melissa went to visit her brother Brian at his surf shop in San Diego. The sun shone brightly on the beach, and Brian, with his easy smile and relaxed energy, greeted her. "Congrats," he said, giving her a quick hug, but the hug felt stiff, like he was forcing it. "But honestly, I get where Mom and Vanessa are coming from." Melissa looked out at the waves and whispered, "You too?" Brian sighed, walking barefoot in the sand. "I mean, is James really that special?" "He loves me," Melissa said. "Isn't that enough?" Brian looked unsure. "We're the Johnsons, Mel. We're supposed to aim high." Melissa laughed quietly, but not with joy. "We're not royalty, Brian. We're just a regular family, trying to act like we're important." As the wedding day approached, Melissa met James's parents. They were kind and warm. His mother, Abigail, hugged Melissa like she had always belonged in their family. "I'm so glad James found someone like you," Abigail said with a gentle smile. Later that night, in her hotel room, Melissa stared at her engagement ring and cried. Why couldn't her own family be happy for her? Why did they always make her feel like she wasn't good enough? Still, meeting James's family gave her hope. Maybe they would come around. Maybe they would see how happy she was and finally support her. She carefully placed 3 invitations into envelopes, one for her mother, one for Vanessa, and one for Brian. With each one, she sent a small wish: "Please be there. Please believe in me." On the wedding day, The sun poured through the tall windows of the venue. Melissa stood in her wedding gown, glowing with nervous excitement. She checked her watch again and again. They'll be here soon, she told herself. But the front row seats marked family were still empty. The wedding planner, Jessica, walked in and smiled kindly. The ceremony starts in 15 minutes. Are you ready? Melissa forced a smile. I'm just waiting on my family. I'm sure it's just traffic, Jessica said gently. But Melissa felt a knot growing in her chest. James entered the room, looking handsome in his white tuxedo. He gently touched her shoulder. Are you okay? They're not here, she whispered, her voice shaking, and they're not answering their phones. James held her hand. They'll come, don't worry. Melissa tried one last time. First, she called Vanessa. Vanessa, where are you? The wedding's about to start. Vanessa's cold laugh filled the phone. Oh, was that today? What? I sent the invitation. I called to confirm. I remember, but honestly, you'll probably be divorced in a year, so why waste my time? Melissa's voice broke. How can you say that? Because it's true, Vanessa said cruelly. Even Mom agrees. Melissa ended the call, heart pounding. James squeezed her hand. She called her mother next. The phone rang, then connected. Melissa, oh, was that today? Barbara said lightly. I'm in Paris, darling, champagne and the Eiffel Tower. Don't bother me. Paris? Melissa's voice cracked. Honestly, Barbara continued, no one cares about your wedding, especially not to that, what was his name again, James? Melissa hung up. One last call. Brian, are you on your way? I'm sorry, he said, his voice flat. There's a surf competition. If Mom and Vanessa aren't going, I'm not going either. Sorry. Melissa stood frozen, her dress shimmering in the sunlight while her heart sank into shadows. James took her hand. Let's do this without them. My family is your family now. Do you mean it? She asked with tears in her eyes. I do, James said. Let's leave the past behind. The ceremony began. James's father walked her down the aisle, and Melissa tried to smile. She looked around, James's family, her friends, but the three faces she most wanted to see were missing. After the vows, James's father stood up. From today, Melissa is a beloved part of our family, he said, and those who hurt her will regret it. Melissa blinked, confused. Regret it? James leaned close. I didn't tell you before. My father is the CEO of Hamilton Enterprises. I'm being prepared to take over someday. Melissa's heart skipped. Hamilton? As in one of the biggest companies in the country? James nodded. I didn't want you to love me for the name. I wanted you to love me. Tears fell again, not from pain this time, but from deep emotion. James's mother embraced her. You are enough, Melissa. You've always been enough. And now, you're ours. After the kiss, the room filled with joyful clapping. Melissa looked at James and said, I'm so happy to have you. Let's make our life together truly beautiful. James smiled. And I promise, your family won't hurt you anymore. As they held each other, Melissa whispered through her tears and laughter. This is the beginning of my new life, and maybe, just maybe, a quiet revenge for everything they did. And in her eyes, a new light sparkled, not just of love, but of strength. Melissa looked serious, but her voice was calm. No, it's important to talk about it. If I share what really happened, maybe someone out there who feels the same way won't feel so alone. The very next day, Hamilton Enterprises posted something big on social media. They shared beautiful wedding pictures of Melissa and James, along with a message about what family truly means. The post also shared an honest truth. Melissa's own family had not come to the wedding. The post quickly went viral. People across the country reacted with support. Many commented how they had gone through the same kind of pain and how Melissa's story gave them hope. News stations picked it up. Her interview was aired on national television. And soon, everyone knew her name, not just as James Hamilton's wife, but as a strong woman who had spoken her truth. But while the world admired Melissa, her family wasn't so lucky. One morning, while sitting in her office, Melissa saw an email come in. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw the sender's name. It was from Vanessa. Subject, just saw the news. From, Vanessa. Dear Melissa. I just saw the news about you. I didn't know you were so important. Why didn't you tell me? I'm sorry I didn't come to your wedding. I had a meeting that day. How are you doing? Hope to hear from you soon. Vanessa. Melissa read the message again. Then she smiled a little and shook her head. A meeting? That wasn't true. On her wedding day, Vanessa had said coldly, "You'll probably be divorced soon anyway." Melissa deleted the email without replying. The next week, a friend called her. "You'll never guess," the friend said. "Your mom is being avoided by everyone since she came back from Paris. People keep asking her, 'Is it true you didn't go to your daughter's wedding, the one married to the Hamilton CEO?'" Melissa didn't say anything, but inside, she felt something shift, not revenge, just a quiet sense of justice. Things didn't stop there. At Vanessa's boutique job, customers started recognizing her. "Aren't you the sister of that Hamilton woman? Why didn't you go to the wedding?" they asked. The questions became more and more frequent. Some people even stopped coming to the store. Her manager started giving her cold looks. Brian, her brother, was hit too. His surf brand ended their contract with him. "We can't be connected with anyone tied to Hamilton Enterprises," they said. Barbara, their mother, stopped getting invited to social events. Vanessa lost her job. Brian lost his sponsors. The three of them were now struggling, not just financially, but socially too. One evening, Melissa's phone rang. It was Vanessa. Melissa hesitated, then she picked up. "Melissa," Vanessa said. Her voice had changed. It didn't sound cold anymore. It sounded nervous. "I saw you on TV. You're amazing. I just wanted to." Melissa cut her off. "You once told me my wedding would be a waste of time, that I'd probably be divorced soon. Well, sorry to disappoint you, but I'm happily married. Is there something you need?" "No, I just wanted to check in on you," Vanessa said quickly. Melissa's voice stayed calm. "Are you checking on your sister, or trying to talk to Mrs. Hamilton?" Vanessa was silent. Then the call ended. Melissa placed the phone down and looked out the window. The San Francisco skyline was the same, but she was not. She was no longer a woman trying to win her family's approval. She had grown into someone stronger, someone who had found her worth. James came up behind her and wrapped his arms around her. "No regrets?" he asked gently. Melissa leaned into him and smiled. "None at all. This isn't revenge. It's just the truth being seen. I wanted the world to know what really happened." 1 year later, Melissa and James now lived in a large house in an upscale area outside San Francisco. Melissa stood by the window, watching flowers bloom in the garden. It was the same day, 1 year after their wedding. Her family still hadn't come that day. The pain hadn't disappeared, but it didn't control her anymore. James walked over and gently put his arm around her. "I was thinking about last year," she said softly. James kissed her on the cheek. "You've changed so much since then. You've become stronger." Melissa nodded, still looking outside. "Sometimes, I wonder how they're doing now." James looked at her for a moment, then said, "Do you really want to know?" Melissa turned to him. "Do you know?" James gave her a guilty smile. "I had them looked into. I just wanted to be sure you were okay." He handed her a folder with reports. Melissa slowly flipped through them. Barbara had lost her social circle and had to leave her fancy apartment. She now lived in a small room. Vanessa had been fired, moved around different jobs, and was now in a run-down apartment. Brian was broke, full of debt, and crashing on a friend's couch. Melissa's hands trembled. "This is a lot." James held her hand. "They're facing the consequences of how they treated you." Melissa pressed her forehead to the cool window. "Is this really what I wanted?" "That's something only you can answer." That afternoon, while reading in the garden, Melissa was told she had visitors. "It's Mr. and Mrs. Johnson," the caretaker said. Melissa's breath caught in her throat. "Bring them in." Barbara, Vanessa, and Brian walked into her home, but they looked completely different now. Barbara's hair had gone white, her confident posture was now slumped. Vanessa looked older, worn out. Brian looked skinny and tired. Barbara tried to smile. "It's been a while. What a beautiful home." Melissa stayed calm. "Please, have a seat. Would you like anything to drink?" "No," Vanessa said quickly. Did you come here for something?" Melissa asked. Her voice was gentle, but firm. Barbara looked nervous. "I just wanted to see my daughter." "Or is it because I'm Mrs. Hamilton now?" Melissa asked, her tone polite but pointed. The room went quiet. Then Brian sighed. "I'll be honest, we're in trouble. We've lost everything." Barbara gave him a sharp look. But Brian didn't stop. We've all been cut off, friends, work, gone. Melissa sat back and spoke calmly. That's tough, but what do you expect me to do? Barbara's voice trembled. Help us, you have power now, one word from you could fix this. Melissa looked straight at her mother. Oh, is this the same woman who once said, "Don't bother me with such trivial things"? Barbara lowered her face and whispered, I'm sorry, but I didn't know you married someone so important. Melissa stood and walked to the window. So if I'd married someone unknown, you wouldn't have come to the wedding? The silence that followed was all the answer she needed. She turned back to face them. What is family to you? Barbara replied, blood ties. Melissa shook her head. No, family is made of people who stand by you, who support you, who believe in you. You didn't come to my wedding, and that hurt deeply, but it also helped me see who truly cared for me. She looked each of them in the eyes. I forgive you. Their eyes widened in shock. But forgiveness doesn't mean trust is back. That takes time. Go home. If one day you truly regret what happened, and want to rebuild something real, come back. Vanessa opened her mouth to say something, but Melissa stopped her. You're all adults. Facing the consequences of your choices is part of being grown up. The three of them stood, defeated. They left quietly, their pride shattered, their faces full of regret.